My name is Paddy Tan. I'm from Singapore. I run this business called Blackstorm Consulting. It's basically a group based in Singapore, Malaysia, Taiwan, and Thailand. Myself is actually a serial entrepreneur. I'm also a business strategist with with years of experience in restructuring companies and also scaling startups all over Southeast Asia. We help them to pivot, adapt, and also thrive in these fast changing markets. Basically, I specialize in taking traditional businesses and turning them into agile, future-ready ventures, and then working together with emerging startups, up-and-coming startups, and then putting them both together to actually bond into new digital transformations. Joining AAN give us a great opportunity to be able to interact with many other partners from Japan to Thailand to Malaysia, of course, and also to Taiwan, and many other partners that are also joining, especially like from India. So today I'm actually be sharing some of the insights, and hopefully that it will be useful for everyone. Overview of the local startup ecosystems. As everybody knows, Singapore is actually a very, very small little country. But what makes it very interesting is that because it's being small, with a very small little mass of land that we have, the government has also been very smart to actually adopt and adapt. How to make use of this ecosystem. Well, to being small, it also doesn't mean that we have an unfair advantage also. But partly also at the same time, our ecosystem for startup has actually matured significantly. Partly is because of being small. It actually allows almost everyone to be able to travel from one point to another point, just within probably no more than 90 minutes. So one of these, it actually helps us in building a very good ecosystem, especially over the past few decades. We actually started off being a follower, as some of you guys probably don't know. Singapore has actually been, when we first started, it was a very small little place, and we actually focused a lot on seeing, depending on others, for tradings, transactions, and so on and so forth. But in terms of the startups itself, we actually follow very much on what the Western countries has been doing, and from there we actually evolve and start to evolve into areas that actually specifically deep dive into areas that actually can help in terms of the globalizations. Answering to the question itself. So what is happening to the local ecosystems in terms of startups? Well, we have almost about 4,500 to almost about 6,000 tech-enabled startups here. When we talk about business entities, we have to understand, in Singapore context, startups usually can be started off with one or two folks, and then 4 or 5, and then that's it. Typically, a lot of startups, when they first started, it started off with just a couple of people. And at times, when it goes actually bigger, larger, this is where, in terms of the outsourcing or opening up branches actually happens. So even though we only have about a couple of thousands of startups, interestingly is that we actually managed to have almost, for the past few decades, we actually almost have about 30 plus unicorns. In the recent reports in 2025, it actually placed Singapore to have almost about 30 to 35 active unicorns. Some of them you may probably know, like Grab, C Group, Lazada, Air Wallets, even BoatTech, and NIUM, which actually is based here in Singapore and San Francisco. These are actually quite more up and coming, startups that actually break through the ceiling and become a unicorn on its own. One other thing good about here is that Singapore remains basically the top hub for unicorns in Southeast Asia. Partly is also, we account more than 50% of the region, total. Reason is actually very simple. Because of the capital gain tax, which is 0, it's also very much of a transitional pot where a lot of talents actually gather together. And being small, you're actually able to reach out to more VCs, family offices, basically high net worth individuals. So this actually helps to finance and also help to power up startups to get themselves the first push together with the government supports also. So this actually allows a lot of overseas companies to look into migrating or shifting their regional head office or even headquarter over to here in Singapore. So this actually creates also at the same time a lot of deal flow. So when you have a dealer flows coming in and out, it actually allows a lot of startups not only to raise funds for their Series A or even in their early stage. A lot of actually the investors also start to move not only just investing in companies based in Singapore, but also using Singapore to actually have as a stepping stone to go out into a region. So Singapore, Malaysia, Thailand seems to be one of the more popular companies that they like to enter. So a lot of our investors who are based here in Singapore get to have access to a lot of other great companies that actually shift over to Singapore to set up also. So even during the early stage of a lot of companies, when they come here, it's not just about fundraising alone, but it gives access to a lot of other government grants. So let's say, for example, a lot of companies set up their offices here, and with the government supports like IMDA, a few of these are very big, gigantic government agencies. They actually provide them a lot of access to a lot of government grants. So this actually allows a lot of VCs to be able to work hand in hand together with these government agencies to look into helping a lot of the startups ecosystems to grow further. Key drivers are shaping the trends. I think in terms of the key drivers, there are multiple. Honestly, there are actually multiple of them. But one thing for sure is that the trends are actually being shaped by a handful of powerful convergence of technology readiness. Basically, we have a strong policy. They send a lot of great signals out, and also at the same time understand and be able to predict and foresee what are the so-called market needs in current and also in the future. So, like for example, one of the things that everybody has been talking about we've been talking about AI, generative AI, a whole bunch of all the other technology that's actually helping companies, helping government agencies, helping society, and all that. I think this is where we have the ecosystem, as I mentioned earlier, actually helps us to bring in the right companies to come in, and with the right breakthrough in its applications in terms of the verticals like biotech, drug discovery, or even manufacturing, doing predictive maintenance, or even you have sensing, robotics, or even the IoT, actually coming in. It actually helps a lot in terms of the physical digital fusions. This actually helps to set up the trend a lot. I think probably some of you guys may know some of the few AI giants, from software to platform to even robots are already entering into Singapore, partly because of the ecosystem, of course, because of the supports by the various ecosystem players from VCs to policies and even venture builders and all that. A lot of these actually creates a very comprehensive offers for a lot of companies to see themselves, hey, this is probably what we should do in the next future, and how should we actually go into shipping up the whole entire playing field for even like AI or even SaaS startups also. One of the things that also help in terms a lot is actually the production link incentives. Okay, some of you may know companies like Dyson. They're actually here. A lot of government grants, incentives actually attract them over, but also at the same time provide them a lot of R&D, direct capital injection also. Another thing that I need to add on is that in terms of market aspects, one other thing very interesting is that there are also a lot of traditional businesses that has to go into digital transformations. So somehow they actually like to use Singapore as a reference to see some of the conglomerates, how some of the these companies actually do their own digital transformations, and in the hope that they can also mimic some of the activities, in the hope that they can also probably so-called follow and probably use this as a guideline. So things like supply chain. We actually did Singapore is a small little place. We have ports are not a lot, but because of the strategic locations of where the country is, the supply chain actually went through quite a lot of reconfigurations to create opportunities for the ports. And then from there, you actually add things like logistics technology. You added a lot of warehousing solutions, and then you improve on the quality control. So a lot of these is actually something that we believe that it will continue because the country itself, the society is actually require all these to support the whole ecosystem. One other things that we also have to be understanding is that partly is because of of the work done, it actually created a very safe haven for a lot of high net worth investors, for them to know that when I invest in the country, when I invest in the companies here, I'm actually protected. I have ecosystems like companies who actually help me. There are a very legit banking and financial systems that can actually protect me. So this actually allows us to sort of like provide quite a fair bit of opportunities, and also able to help us to look into the trend and all this, and also opportunities and challenges. Okay, having said that, the current landscapes presents a lot of very clear greenfield opportunities here in Singapore. But however, navigating the path to scale, or even to offer overcome systematic hurdles is also always a present there. As we all know, even the locations of the country is pretty strategic. Our surrounding partners also are up and coming. There are a lot of partners, a lot of countries. They are also jumping into these startups, and they're also scaling their own. And the government policies also has been very supportive. This also present some opportunities, and also this presents some challenges as a country. As a country itself, a few things that we all have to identify, which are most of the time, Singapore can also be positioned as this is where companies can actually use this place to test out, to test out solutions, to test out products and all this. Partly is because the demographic is pretty diverse. We have multiple, different races. Cultures are also different, but everybody are able to work together. So this creates immense opportunities for many startups also. So let's say, for example, just to name a few, which is up and coming, and in fact, some of them actually been running quite a fair bit. But because of the opportunity presents, this also allows a lot of overseas and local companies to partner together. Example, Silver Tech, or what we know as the aging innovations. Okay, one other thing that we have to understand is Singapore population is not a lot, okay, but the aging society actually needs a lot of solutions, and partly it's because of our in terms of the childbirth, it's actually not very high. It's just like many other developed countries also. Another thing that is actually in the mind of everybody when we talk about Paris 2030, everybody think about climate. Okay, how are we going to handle climate? How are we going to talk about ESG and stuff like that? So one of the things that we can actually tap on opportunity here is actually the climate adaptations. Okay, look into the technology. If you have a very good, interesting products or interesting solutions or whatever, especially those are beyond green energy, we need a lot of support. We need a lot of help. Even like Singapore, we can't produce our own water on our own. We actually have to purchase water from others, to help to sustain and all that. So things like water management, things like agri-tech, agriculture or food tech, okay, or a way to manage the temperature, manage the climate and all that. These are good opportunities here. Well, however, while there are opportunities, there are also challenges. One of the challenges that to a lot of companies is that they find Singapore very strict. There's a lot of regulations, there's a lot of policies, there's a lot of law, rules, and everything. So, some companies that are probably overseas companies, they have been very used to certain unregulated or probably certain environment that actually allows them to be a bit more freer, do more things, without having to go through a check on the regulations. All this, this can be a bit of a challenge in Singapore, because Singapore itself, is pretty strict on all this. So things like, for example, if you have like the speed of innovation, especially for startups, it always outpace those legal frameworks, especially in those like fintech, health tech, or even new mobility. Another challenge that we face here is that there have been a lot of intense war for technical talents, especially now. You're talking about AI engineers or scientists, data scientists, a whole bunch of all this. Let's say, for example, in one of the science park, these tech park or whatsoever, you have a big giants just next to each other. So, and it is actually not uncommon to see folks actually being poached from one company to another company. So this actually creates a lot of problem, because when tech giants are able to pay a lot of money, this allows them to be able to throw a lot of money out, hire a lot of good talents. But this also may create a risk, creating a vacuum for companies, small little startups that are not able to afford to pay them. Okay, so this creates also a bit of a problem also. International collaborations and future outlook. One of the things that we also can look at is that partly it's because of our strategic locations as a country, as a market, but also at the same time tapping onto a lot of regional head office with access to the global market. We should actually build very much on that. So this actually allows companies here, who is actually based here in Singapore, to be able to work with even companies that can actually go into the international market almost immediately. So let's say, for example, let's say you can use this as an entry point for collaborations. For overseas companies, when you come over here, you can always try to work with local corporates, okay, local companies, SME or whichever. The best entry points are usually sector specific, so that you can join them. Sometimes you can even join governments, from those national development agencies, can join their programs, or can even work with the top tier university to even do a tech transfer, and then do partnership together, or even to provide a spin-off. So what do I mean is that overseas companies that want to enter into Singapore, you don't see Singapore as the market alone. You can actually see Singapore as a stepping stone, to work with the local government agencies, the development agencies, the universities, bring your technology over, work together with them, probably set up your IP, set up your patents and whatsoever, and then get government grants, get the responsibilities cleared with how everybody can work together, and then from there you scale out of Singapore. Well, in terms of the future, I think one of the things that I personally see is that I think the weather has been something that everybody has been very concerned. But one other thing that's closer here is that in terms of the talents hasn't been easy for a country like Singapore, because the cost is really high. It's getting hiring where typically what used to cost much more reasonable has resulted in a very high cost, and this actually hit a lot of companies where they're not able to afford or unable to pay too many talents at the same time. So I think the future, what we are looking at would be very much in terms of AI will actually definitely come in. We have already seen, and AI is not just not individual to be using, but the B2B using of AI tools will come in very, very fast. Okay, even the things like what used to cost a lot of money, cost a lot of time to develop. I think the AI portion will actually comes in, especially in terms of the designing of the chips, helping in the manufacturing, or even even we are talking about robotics components being built. I think eventually it will be embedded into a lot of vertical solutions in the market. So tapping onto here, where the government here has actually been looking pretty forward on that, working with the relevant government agencies. I think this also allows the private sectors to come in, where we see these key opportunities to combine together, enabling this technology for from sustainability to AI implementations to even carbon, ESG, or your alternative solutions to talents, to climates, all this. I think eventually all these will actually help in terms of positioning Singapore as a good locations for a lot of startups to actually land and to build the ecosystem that will be able to help more partners around our regions to work together. Thank you.